I have to answer this question. So,
how will Perkins+Will change in the next 25 years?
25 years from now, our generation will be leading the firm.
In 25 years, how do you think Perkins+Will will change?
I'm not even 25 years old. I have this crazy idea.
Okay, I'm ready.
In 25 years, I think Perkins+Will will have completely moved away from the disciplines and market sectors of a traditional architecture firm.
Perkins+Will will change in the way it thinks about place, infrastructure, site, landscape, architecture, and essentially trying to bring everything together.
We're going to be thinking more about systems than we are about objects.
And I think architecture as a form-driven process will also include this notion of energy modeling and energy design in a much more integrated way than we're currently using it.
We will have an in-depth understanding of the buildings we build because we will be studying them and monitoring them, their performance. But we will not only be studying one building, we will be studying perhaps hundreds of them, a portfolio of them, and how all of these together affect the infrastructure network.
In 25 years, over 60% of the world's population is going to live in a city. I think in order to meet this growing demand for smart urban infill, Perkins+Will is going to need to greatly expand its urban design practice.
I think renovations, additions, and greening our existing building stock in our cities will be a larger part of what Perkins+Will does in 25 years.
Because of the growing interest in space tourism, Perkins+Will will have a large hand in the development of intergalactic design, and it'll be a strong market sector.
The problems that we're going to confront are going to be bigger and more complex than the traditional structure allows.
So we'll probably have to focus more on facilitation, our understanding of people behave in a space, and really begin to bridge the gap between what people should be doing in our buildings and what people actually do in their buildings.
Everything from nanotechnology to neuroscience, these fields will basically shape building materials and also influence the way that we shape space.
I think it's really important that we redefine the quality of architecture and the importance of initial investment into sustainability and into quality for longevity of buildings.
The idea of sustainable design will come to be the standard, and
I think the word sustainability is going to be obsolete.
green design will be synonymous with good design.
Our buildings are already going to be carbon neutral. We're already going to have those green buildings, but we're going to be cleaning up after our mess. So it's doomsday architecture, it's disaster relief architecture, it's looking at underwater solutions, and, well, basically everything to clean up from our human errors from what we're doing right now.
We should think about how to provide more immediate help to help communities in times of catastrophe due to natural disasters.
Due to the current economic climate, we're going to be pressed into becoming more aware of each other, and I hope that in that context, social responsibility becomes an ever-growing part of the practice and our consciousness.
We have to get more involved in educating our clients and friends and even family about sustainable practices. We definitely have to share our knowledge and experience if we want things to progress.
A resource for people to go to, not only in the industry but also in the community, with all of the research that we invest in internally.
And someday we're gonna celebrating to open a sustainable design institute in Manhattan.
And in the next 25 years, I think Perkins+Will will be at the forefront of research-based design initiatives.
I think our teams are going to be structured around performance capabilities.
The scope of what architects do is going to keep expanding to the point that it's going to have to become more focused and specialized.
I think there's going to be economists and demographers and performance engineers that are going to be considered integral to our design process.
We will need to have a completely integrated design process with in-house energy system specialists.
I could see Perkins+Will working more fluidly with their clients and contractors, but most specifically internally with the other offices.
I think we're going to be working smarter instead of harder. I think that we're going to be able to use technology in a way so that we have less people working on teams. And
I'm excited about what the future has for us, especially our design process, because the more tools we have, the better we'll be at designing, and I'm sure Perkins+Will will be the leader in this venture.
Digital drafting boards, those will probably come back, so that it's kind of like a giant iPhone, display table, and we'll probably, draft it with our fingers, and we'll all do that, go back to that.
I definitely hope we're not using PowerPoint in 25 years.
Do you think we'll have flying cars by then?
Something like a 3D holographic interactive virtual library, so we can reduce the amount of samples we're bringing in and just be smarter about how we sample and judge.
It's not hard to see a sophisticated digital model being invaluable to the practice of the firm.
We can take one model and make sure that everything then is coordinated and analyzed before we deliver projects to our clients.
So we basically would design everything and coordinate everything with engineers, and everything will be done in BIM and using computers that will actually run machineries that will, construct the structures for us.
I think it'll be much more common for architects to be not only generating forms digitally, but also generating energy models in tandem with those forms, so that we get a better understanding of how we can make more efficient use of forms to create sustainable buildings.
I think that Perkins+Will needs to develop virtual interactive architectural experiences.
We might be dragging our clients into a virtual room where we, carry them through the entire space in one room in a 3D animated space.
And of course, as Conan O'Brien predicted, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook will combine to form one super time-wasting website called UTwitface.
As bandwidth increases, most of our applications can be hosted, in any location and be used anywhere.
Is we're going to have the ability to kind of be more flexible in our work schedules and being able to sort of work as a more mobile workforce. So I'm kind of excited about that idea as a family man.
We will see more women at Perkins+Will. I think we'll be using technologies that we are not even aware of at the moment. And I think we'll also be working from home, maybe once or twice a week, and then coming in for Monday morning meetings.
With the future of travel and technology, I think instead of operating as 23 smaller local offices, we'll be operating as one larger office.
The office will split up into lots of small groups.
There will be no offices. They will all be electronic. You'll be one of the last few architecture firms still employing humans and not robots.
That's 25 years.